Hello friends, welcome to IELTS World. I hope you all getting benefits from my channel. This is the second part of my last video. In my last video, I discussed some IELTS success formulas. And in this video, I'm going to discuss with you some IELTS reading tips about how you can improve your score. The tips include developing both IELTS reading exam skills and also improving your English. Paragraph headings. Here are my top 4 tips for how to answer paragraph headings questions. 1. Do these questions last. 2. Start with the shortest paragraphs. 3. Look for similar words. 4. Move on if you are spending too much time. Do these questions last. Paragraph headings questions are difficult, especially because the answers will not be in order in the text. For most other types of questions, the answers will be in order in the text. So, do the other questions first, then you will be familiar with the text when you return to the paragraph headings questions. You might even find that you are able to match some of the paragraphs really quickly because you remember what they were about. Start with the shortest paragraphs. Instead of starting with the first paragraph, why not start with the shortest paragraph? If there is a really short paragraph, it should be easier to match it to a heading. Then you will have fewer headings to choose from for the longer paragraphs. Look for similar words. As with most types of IELTS reading questions, you should be able to find words in the paragraph that are similar to words in the heading. Move on if you are spending too much time. Paragraph headings questions often take a long time. Don't allow yourself to use more than 20 minutes for each reading passage. If you haven't finished after 20 minutes, move on to the next passage. Which paragraph contains the following information? This type of question is not the same as match the headings to the paragraphs. Here are some tips for which paragraph contains questions. Instead of looking for the main idea of each paragraph, you need to find one piece of formation. Some paragraphs might not contain any answers. The same paragraph might contain more than one answer. It's not usually difficult to understand the question or answer, but it is difficult to find the answer. Do these questions last. By doing other questions first, you will become familiar with the passage, and you might remember where some of the answers are. Look for the easiest information first. Questions that contain names, numbers or big unusual words might be easier to find. False or not given. Students are often confused by the difference between false and not given. You should choose false if the information in the passage directly contradicts the question statement. In other words, you need to be able to show that a different answer would be true. Choose not given only when there is no information or not enough information. Match the names. One type of question asks you to match the names with a statement. You will see a list of people's names, often researchers or experts, and you have to match each name with a statement about what he or she did or said. Here's some advice for this type of question. 1. Find all of the names in the passage first. Scan the whole passage quickly, don't read it, just search for the names, and underline all the names that the question asks you about. 2. Remember that academic articles often only use surnames. For example, if one of the names is Robert Smith, you might not see the first name Robert in the passage. Just look for the surname Smith. 3. Do difficult questions last. If one name is mentioned 3 times in 3 different paragraphs, it will be more difficult to match with a statement than a name that is only mentioned once. Start with the name that is only mentioned once. 4. When you find a match, put a cross next to the statement. You will only use each statement once. 5. As usual, Look for words in the passage that are similar to words in the question statements. Easy questions first. A good technique for the IELTS reading test is to do easy questions first. If you get stuck on difficult questions, miss them. Do the easy questions, then return to the tricky questions later. What's the easiest type of question? The easiest type of question is probably any question that contains a name, number, or date. For these questions, it should be easy to scan the text to find where the answer is. If you find it difficult to get started in the exam, look for a question with a name, number, or date, and start there. An easy question will help you to start confidently. Skimming and scanning? Many teachers and books talk about skimming and scanning as key techniques for IELTS reading. I have stopped using the word skimming and scanning in my lessons because I find that they confuse students. In fact, many students get the wrong answers because they skim too quickly and miss the words that they are looking for. So, forget skimming and scanning and focus on finding and understanding. 1. Finding. Read the text to find words from the question. 2. Understanding. When you have found some keywords from the question, read that part of the text carefully in order to get the right answer. Finding and understanding IELTS reading is really a test of two things. 1. Can you find the part of the text that contains the answer? 2. Do you understand that part of the text? Finding. You need to be able to find the right part of the text quickly. I practice this a lot. I decide which words in the question I need to search for, then I try to locate those words, or words with the same meaning, in the text. Understanding. When you have found where the answer is, you need to read that part of the text carefully. Read the sentences before and after the keywords that you found. Then it becomes a test of your vocabulary knowledge. If you don't understand the words that you are reading, it will be difficult to get the right answer. Two questions about exam technique. 1. Should you read the whole passage before looking at the questions? 2. Should you go to the questions first, then scan to find the answers? My answer to question 1 is no. You don't have time to read the whole passage unless your English is almost the native speaker level. My answer to question 2 is yes and no. Yes, go to the questions first. No, don't skim or scan unless the question contains a name or number. My advice is to do the questions one by one. Instead of skimming or scanning, read the passage carefully. The answers to most question sections will be in order in the passage, so you will gradually read the whole passage as you find the answers. Thanks for watching it. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel.